Well, I first went to 33 school, and then I went to number 12 school, and then I went to Monroe, and then I graduated in '97 out of East High. We had a 2-year program called the Firefighter Trainee Program, and at the time I was playing football, and I was recruited by the first graduating class of that program. And I remember being in the locker room and got done playing, and I just thought I was an NFL player. I thought I was a pro. And then they asked me to just come and listen to an assembly. So I remember going to the assembly, and I said, you know what, this seemed kind of interesting. And I took a shot at going into the program. And in the beginning, it was a 12-week program, and you're in 10th grade. And then 11th and 12th grade, we was in the program. And that's where we learned how to become firefighters and, you know, did a lot of hands-on. After we did the, in our 12th grade year, we had a civil service test, and I passed it with a 98. And when I passed it, after we graduated, we worked a little bit for the city, but we graduated in June, and in September I went right into the fire academy. And then after the fire academy, I got into the firehouse. I worked out of Engine 5 on Lau and Child Street for a few years, for like 8 years. Then I went over to Engine 3 over on Mount Reed and Emerson. And then I went into the crew, which is the Community Relations Department. And then I became one of the fire marshals. And then I went back into community outreach. And then I retired at the age of 39. Well, I've been on the legislature now for 3 years. I am also the assistant minority leader of the Monroe County Legislature. And what we do, we oversee a $1.2 billion budget. And we deal with anything from social services to parks in the whole Monroe County. My district is in the city, and it borderlines from Clifford and Avenue D all the way to a street called Navarre and Arundequoit, and then it borderline Culver Road all the way to Lake Avenue. So within my district, I have the Rose Garden, I have the zoo, I have many sites in my district, which is, you know, which a lot of people is recognizing and go to themselves. The job is very rewarding, and it is sometimes very disappointing when you can't get certain rules passed due to the fact that we are in the minority. But we fight for our constituency, and we learn how to cross the aisle to get things done when we need to get it done. And sometimes they go with us and sometimes they don't. You know, God placed some amazing teachers in my life and house administrators. And I remember I was at Monroe, and I had Mr. Smith. I remember I was a little knucklehead at that time. I would run around getting into fights and getting suspended. And they put us in this class, and it was nothing but all the bad kids in this class. And what they did, they put us together with Mr. Smith, and what we did was we worked helping teachers out. They gave us these little jobs to do throughout the day, as long as we kept our work and everything intact. And I remember one time we was acting up in the classroom, and he said to me this. He said, "Listen, you gotta love yourself before you can expect anyone else to love you. Stop ruining your life." And that touched me, because I was like, wow, I do love myself. I ain't letting nobody disrespect me or nothing like that. But then he was like, it ain't even about that. You know, you have to finish school. So when he said that, it touched me, and I started changing the way I was doing things. And that was in Monroe. I was in the 8th grade. I remember it like it was yesterday. And then I went over to East and I got into East High School, and we had this little, like a little brawl in the computer room. And I thought I got away with it. Mr. Santangelo, he called me to his office and told him he was my house administrator. And he said, "Ernest, you from Monroe?" I said, "Yeah, I'm from Monroe." He said, "Do you want to go back?" And I said, "No." He said, "You get in another fight here, I will be sending you right back to Monroe." And that changed me, because at the end of the day, I didn't want to go backwards. No one want to wake up to not go forward. And, you know, as I continued to go on through my years in high school, he was always there. And so God had blessed me with folks from middle school to high school who was always there like a father figure. Even though I had a father, they was that father when my father wasn't around. So I mean, it was an amazing experience for me. Well, one thing I would say to the students is that nothing worth having come easy. Here ago, I was a young man who father was taken out of the home because of drugs, and I had a child at 16 years old. I ran in gangs, and God turned my life around, and I worked hard to make a living, to make myself successful. So, I know how it feels to struggle, to be in a home of a single mother, to be in a home when it's just you and your sisters. They're trying to just make sure we got clothes to wear and what we're going to eat the next week was not uncommon in our household. Being a father at the age of 16, never leaving my daughter's side, raising her like a man's supposed to have done, and worked hard to become successful so that I can be a role model, not just for my children, but for many other children in the district and my kids' friends who may not even be in the district sometimes, but be that big role model that someone could look up to and show you that you can make it in spite of what your circumstances are. So nothing worth having come easy. And one more thing is, if you're not at the table, then you're the dish.